Another feature that should be kept in mind when considering any of the Bermuda grasses at all, whether it be the Tex Turf Tiff or even common Bermuda, is that none of them like the shade. All three of them require 100% sunlight. They do great out on sports fields and golf courses and places like that because they do recuperate real fast from cleats and divots and all that, but they absolutely do not tolerate any shade at all. If you plant this grass up next to a two-story house and the sun rises and sets at just a little bit of the wrong angle, or there's a tree that starts to get a little bit bigger, it's going to create a problem in the future. It requires, some of these you'll see that I'll talk about, can go on as little as 3 or 4 hours of direct sunlight, but Bermuda grass is absolutely not one of those. It needs full 100% sunlight all day long. You also need to keep in mind with the Bermuda grasses that they require more frequent fertilizations than say the zoysia and the St. Augustines, whereas those grasses 2 to 3 times a year on the fertilizer is usually pretty good. The Bermuda grass needs to be more like 4 to 6 times per year for it to be the greenest that it possibly can be. It's not to say it can't sustain itself and be a decent grass, but to have it look the best it possibly can, it's going to require more like 4 to 6 fertilizations per year. Also should be noted that the Bermuda grasses in general have good drought tolerance, and by good drought tolerance I mean if you shut the water off to everything and you had all the grasses planted side by side, the Bermuda grasses tests have shown that they would last a little bit longer than some of the other grasses out there, so that's something. However, most homeowners aren't interested in doing any drought studies, and they just want a nice green yard. And it should be noted the way we keep all of these, we give them 1 inch of water per week. If it doesn't fall out of the sky, if it's not raining regularly enough, we water twice per week. Normally it takes about 4 hours to put out 1 inch of water, and it's best if you can do that over two waterings, 1/2 inch at a time. So say you water on Saturday and you do it again, say like Wednesday or something like that, and about 2 hours each time. That if it's not raining at all, that's what it takes to sustain nice green lush grass, and that goes for pretty much all the varieties that we have out here. That is something to certainly keep in mind as well. One thing to note about this Bermuda grass in particular, Bermuda grasses in general, but this one especially, is it's thinner than St. Augustine. It's not quite as dense, so it doesn't do as good a job shading out any seeds that are blowing around out in nature, which is bound to happen. Weed seeds and things like that. Those seeds are gonna fall down on the dirt, and the sunlight is going to penetrate through the dirt a little bit easier than it does, say, like with a zoysia or one of the St. Augustines. So you're going to have to you're going to contend with the weeds a little bit more. It seems to me like I know that's the case out here with the plots, and so that's something to keep in mind. The best way to fend off those weeds is to use a pre-emergent herbicide. To my knowledge, I don't believe homeowners can put that out, but if you have someone with a chemical applicator's license, you can put pre-emergent out a couple of times a year, and that kind of keeps those weeds at bay. And but basically, it creates a barrier on the soil that never lets those seeds take off, and that's usually something to keep in mind if you're going to go the Bermuda grass route. I like to give everybody a heads up that and also it should be noted that for that first year you don't want to put any kind of chemicals out at all. You just want to mow those weeds and not apply chemicals. If you do, you can stunt the root growth of the new grass while it's time to take root.